Hey everybody, welcome to my photography masterclass. My name is Terry White. It's so great to be back in front of you on a Friday. I know it's been inconsistent. I know it's been frustrating. We used to be on at the same time every week, and then the Adobe Live team decided to try different things and different schedules. So I apologize that I don't have a consistent every Friday, every Monday, every whatever, but I do my best now to let people know upfront, days in advance, when the next one's going to be. So I think I posted this one last Sunday. I had the wrong time, but I still posted last Sunday. And so if you follow me on social, you will always know days in advance when I'm going to be live. So that's the best way to find out. Also, even if you don't follow me on all my channels, I usually post these in my YouTube playlists. So I have a playlist for the masterclass, I have a playlist for the photography show, and days in advance is posted there. So if you just follow me on YouTube and click the notification button, subscribe and notify, then you'll always be notified when I'm going to go live. All right, now that we got that out of the way, welcome. So I know that some of you are chiming in from all over the world. So I see some good folks over there on YouTube. I see Jesse. I see Sheila. I see Zayed. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Thanks is all the way from Nigeria. Thanks. We love you being here as much as you love the content. And I see, of course, people popping up on the Adobe Live channel. So I see people like Oliver and Yamakorn. Hopefully, I know I'm probably butchering that, but I'm horrible with names. So I take my apologies, nothing intentional. Oliver and Mike and Sam and Steve, welcome over on Adobe Live. So if you are watching on another channel like Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, you can hang out there or even Twitch. But if you want to participate in the main chat, head over to b.net/Adobe Live, and that is that's where I will be streaming. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a question. That's where I will be answering the bulk of the questions. But if I see your question over on the other screen, I will try and answer your questions in all the other places that you may be watching this. Okay, so with that said, what are we doing today? Today we're doing a how to stand out on Instagram or how to stand out in social in general, and we're going to take a look at some new things you can do now as part of your photography plan in the new Adobe Express. Now, for those of you who are new, Adobe Express it's been around for a few years now. It started out as Adobe Spark, then it migrated over to Adobe Express. Then the team, since there's so much demand for it, the team wanted to build a whole new platform for like a whole new engine for it to run on so we can scale it up, we can add more things to it. And that process is still in works, but we released the beginnings of it on August 16th. So August 16th, we got a brand new out of beta Adobe Express. Now there's some things that still need work. There's some things that are still kind of like not there yet. And the team knows that and they're working feverishly as we speak. Also, there's a disconnect with the current mobile version because the mobile version is based on the old platform. There will be a new mobile version coming out that will be based on this platform. So lots of work for the Express team left to do. We're by no means done, but you can start using it today. Also, with that said, Adobe Express is free, so even if you're not a Creative Cloud member, you can use it for free. But if you are a Creative Cloud member, then you get premium content. So premium templates, fonts, and features that you can use like a branding that you can use as an Adobe Creative Cloud member. So you're on a photography plan, you get more stuff. You're not on any plan, you get some stuff. Either way, you could use Express to do the things I'm doing. One of the things I will call out before I even get there is that one of the biggest things for me that's missing in the previous version, we had Lightroom access directly in Express. So you could bring up your Lightroom albums, drag over images directly from, or click on them, bring them in directly from Lightroom. That integration isn't back yet. So it's not been ported over to the new platform. I'm missing it, but that's okay. We can still export out content from Lightroom or Lightroom Classic and use it in Express. So we just have to do a couple extra steps. All right. Let me see some of the comments here. Good evening, Mohammed. Insta, I like taking photos of sandwiches, not trying to stand out. And General Kenobi says, Express will make a fine addition to my collection. I'm sure it will. And even free Express is so fun. Yeah, you can do a lot with the free Express. All right, so with that said, let's not talk anymore. Let's get right to it. So I'm switching over to my desktop. I noticed there was a lag. I got to reboot that computer. Like I hit the button like 3 seconds ago and it just switched over. Anyway, let's switch over to the desktop. And let's see. I'm in the photographer's program for Photoshop and Lightroom. Do I have to purchase Adobe Express? You do not. That's what I just said. So if you're on one of the paid programs already, you already have access to Express and the premium content. You don't have to buy anything else. Now, let's say, just for giggles, you are not a paid member. You are, so you're all set. But let's say you weren't. Then, and you don't need Photoshop, Lightroom, or any of the other tools. You just need Express. There is a paid Express program for $9.99 a month that gives you all the Express stuff, all the premium content, all the things we're going to talk about today. You, as Creative Cloud members on Lightroom and Photoshop, don't need to do that because you're already paying. You already have access to that content. So that's only for people that say, I'm not a photographer, I'm not a designer, I don't need all that other stuff. I just like Express. Then you could just pay for Express. But you don't have to because you're already paying for the other programs. Okay, so let's dive in and let's start here. So how do you get to it? First of all, Express is a website. It's not an app you download. The main URL to get to it is express.adobe.com. If you want to jump directly in, you can say new.express.adobe.com, and that will take you right in. All you need to do is sign in with your same Adobe ID that you use in your paid program or your free Adobe ID, either one, and then you will be eventually taken to this screen. Now, this is the new interface. I'm going to walk you through some things that we can do to make it easier on you. And yes, you can express yourself, and hello, Rocky. All right, so with that said, first of all, you'll notice that it's kind of divided in sections going down. So there's some menu stuff on the left side. We'll get to that in a minute. But I want to start on the main page. What do you want to make? So right off the bat, you have categories. Do I want to do something for social media? Brand new. I can make videos now in Express. Do I just need to make a photo? Do I want to make a document? Do I want to make marketing? Or do I want to use generative AI? Maybe I'm not a Photoshop user, but I want to use the Firefly integration built in. So you can do that. Then you scroll up, and the next thing is that you can get started with just straight up uploading your own content. If you've got a Photoshop file, hang on, let me zoom in. If you've got a PDF, a PSD, which is a Photoshop document, or AI, which is an Adobe Illustrator document, lowercase I, Adobe Illustrator, you can just drag those right in now, upload them. It'll convert them, still leaving your existing originals alone, but it'll make them into an Express document that you can edit. So if you ever wanted to edit a PDF, you can now just upload a PDF and do it. Maybe we'll get time and I'll show you that as well. So maybe you design something in InDesign, for example. You export it as a PDF as your flyer. Now you bring it into Express and you can continue editing it and adding more stuff that Express can do. All right, if you're not uploading something directly, meaning you don't have something already built, then you can just start with any one of the categories here. So if, for example, if I wanted to make an Instagram story, I can either create from scratch, which will give me a blank page. So if you say, hey, I know what I'm doing, give me a blank page, I'll add my own pictures, I'll add my own text, I'll do everything myself. Great, start from scratch. Everyone can start from scratch. Or I'm not good at that. I don't want a blank page. I'm afraid of a blank page. I'm not a designer. Then you can browse and start with templates. So that way you get the ability to use professionally designed templates and just add your own content. Change the text, add your own photos or videos, and then make it your own without having to start with a blank page and not necessarily knowing how to position things on the page, what colors to use, what fonts to use. That's the beauty of a template. All right, Nicholas says, I remember that there was an option to create a web page. Will this opportunity return? It's already there. It's just not obvious. So yes, you can create a web page from the plus sign. Just scroll down till you see web page, and it's already there. I had to point that out to someone else the other day. That's why I know exactly where it is. But yeah, it's still there. And I'm happy that they brought that in over because I use that quite a bit and we'll be using it today. So whatever it is you want to create, you can just grab either from a template or from scratch from any one of these categories. Or you can say, hey, I'm not a photographer. I don't take my own pictures. I don't have any good pictures. I want to describe a picture and have it build one for me. So that's the text to image using the Firefly engine. Or I want to create a banner using text effects. That's built in. Then we also have these quick actions, which maybe you're not trying to build something right now for social, but you need to do something. So for example, maybe you want to post an animated GIF to social. So, but you don't have an animated GIF. You don't have a program that creates animated GIFs. You just have a video. Well, you can upload that video and convert it to an animated GIF right here without needing to create a post, without needing the template, without needing anything. So think of the quick actions as I want to do a task. I'm not trying to make something. So I want to remove the background from a photo. That's it. I don't need to do anything else with it. Let me remove the background and download the results as a PNG file. Then I'll use that PNG file somewhere else, wherever else I want to use it. I want to resize an image. Believe it or not, resizing is still a big pain point for a lot of people. If you're a Lightroom and Photoshop user, it's probably not that big of a deal. But if you're not a Lightroom and Photoshop user, this is a big deal. So all of these quick actions, I want to create a QR code. I don't have a post I want to put it on, but I need a QR code for my next thing I'm going to do in some other program, or I want to upload it to social or whatever. So I could generate a QR code to put on something else. And of course, convert to PDF, convert to PNG, all of that stuff's here. Resize video, merge videos. This is another cool one. I just want to merge some videos together that I took sporadically, and I'm not a video editor. So let me make one video out of 5 videos or 6 or how many ever you took and put them together as a video, assemble them in Express. So as you can see, we still have Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, After Effects for all the pros out there that know what they're doing and want all the professional features. We have Express for everyone else. Maybe your forte is photography. You're not a graphic designer. You're not a videographer. You're not a video editor. But you took videos that with a professional camera that look great. Upload them here, assemble them here, make your video here. So that's what this platform is all about. And then, of course, it starts getting down into popular templates and so forth and so on. So one more thing before we dive in. So the plus sign over here is another way to get started. If I hit the plus sign, then I can just go ahead and type in what I'm looking for. Or, as I told Nicholas, that we can scroll down and somewhere down here, if I didn't pass it already, I think I passed it already, maybe not. Somewhere in here is web page. I just saw it a second ago. Maybe I didn't scroll down far enough this time. I could also just search for it, by the way. I don't have to scroll. There it is, web page. So that's the web page feature. We are going to talk about that towards the end because that's a big thing for photographers, but it is here. Yeah, and by the way, let me see if I just type in web page. Will it find it? Yeah, so just start typing web. You don't have to scroll. Just type in web and it's there. Okay, we're not going to do the web page yet. I'm going to take you through an example I did as a separate video, and I'm going to walk you through and give you some more context. So I made a short video on how are these templates compatible with Photoshop? They are not, but Photoshop content is compatible with Express. So if you made something in Photoshop, you can bring in that PSD as a template or as just a linked element and use it in Express. But it's not the other way around. Like this doesn't go back to a PSD or back to an Illustrator file at this point. All right, so I'm going to do something I did earlier in the month. I think I did an Instagram carousel, and this is another way photographers can stand out. First of all, what's an Instagram carousel? Because maybe you're new to this concept. All an Instagram carousel is a feature on Instagram. This is my Instagram, by the way. Go ahead and follow me if you haven't followed me yet at Terry Lee White. But this is my Instagram. And if I click on this post, this is what's called a carousel. And all this is simply 2 to 10 images. So a carousel is definitely, because if it was just one image, that's just a post. So it's 2 or more images with a maximum of 10 that a person can swipe through or go through. So for example, I did an example of a quick portfolio that you could create using Express. This was created in Express, so you didn't have to worry about how to draw a line. You didn't have to worry about how to put text on it in Instagram. You just did it in Express, exported out your 2 to 10 images, and then when you go to create this post in Instagram, you simply say multiple images. They're all going to be the same size. So you just click multiple, tap the order you want them in from your camera roll, and then, or your desktop if you're doing it on a computer, and then it'll make this carousel for you automatically. So that's all a carousel is 2 or more images with a maximum of 10. Okay, next, how do we do that? So I don't see Instagram carousel here at the top of the list because this can't list every single thing we can do. So if I go to the plus sign and I type in Instagram, I just start typing Instagram, carousel is going to come up. There it is. And by the way, these are all the Instagram things you can do. But I'm going to go ahead and say carousel. Now, when I do that, that will give me a blank page because that's where I started. I didn't search the templates. I did the plus sign and said, give me an Instagram carousel. And again, if I want to do it all myself, I can now start uploading all those pages and uploading all those pictures, making more pages and do it myself. I don't want to do it myself. I want a nice, pretty template to use. So now that I've created the document, so to speak, and by the way, I can give it a name right here, and I encourage you to give it a name right off the bat, because otherwise all your content's going to just be named untitled, and you won't necessarily know which one's which. So I'm going to call this one IG Carousel Photography Masterclass. Okay, so now that I've named it, I know exactly what that's going to be the next time I'm looking for this document. All right, now, so we created it, we named it, now we're going to go get the template. So I click on templates on the left-hand side, and notice what the search is already set to. It's already set to Instagram carousel because it sees that's what you're working on. So now when I do a search for photography, give me all the photography templates for carousels is what I just asked it to do. And you'll notice that as you hover over one of these, it'll show you the number of pages it already has. So this one already has 4 pages. Remember, it's either 2 up to 10. And even if it doesn't have enough or too many, you can always delete a page you don't need or add more pages. So if I hover over the actual content, it will show me what those 4 pages are. So this is giving me a little preview of what this template already has in it. And if I like it, I can use that one. Now, the one I used in my earlier demo, I really like this one, this Alex Lee one. And as I hover over it, it's showing me the 4 pages in this template. Now, I may need 5, I may need 6, I may need all 10. No big deal. It's only got 4. I'm going to show you how to add more. Okay, great. And of course, there are other ones. This one's a nice one. This is a nice one too. It's got multiple images on some of the pages. So if you need more than 10, this is a way to get around it by putting 2 or more images on the same page. This one's another one, nice one for photographers. It's got multiple images on the same page. This one more looks like a wildlife photographer. There are animals in it. You don't have to be a wildlife photographer to use this template. You don't have to use wildlife photography in this template. It's just the example. You change it to whatever you want it to be. Use whatever pictures you have. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and, because again, I really like this Alex Lee one. I'm going to click on it. Yep, I'm going to, oh, this is new. I'm going to start a new project because I used this before and I kind of saved it. So I'm just going to start a new project with it. You won't have to deal with that, but I did. Okay, so now I've got the new project, and again, it's got the 4 sample pages in it. And none of this is my content. None of the pictures aren't mine. I'm not Alex Lee. I might want to call this something besides portrait portfolio, or I want to call it fashion portfolio, whatever. So now is where you go in and start making these changes. So I often start with a template. Kickstart creativity often ends up with something completely different. The template got me going. Exactly. What Nicholas just said is exactly what I want you to take away from this process. The template is just a starting point. You don't have to use it. You want to change the font? You want to change the colors? You want to change the lines? You want to delete stuff? You want to add more stuff? You want to put stuff in it that's not in there now? It's just a starting point. Change it any way you want. So, for example, first thing that's bugging me is that that's not my name. So I'm going to double click on it and change it to Terry. All right, my middle name is Lee, but I'm going to change this to just simply Terry White. All right, now, if I want that white to be bigger, I can make it bigger. I can say, hell, you know what? I kind of want it to match the same size as Terry. I can change it. I don't have to live with what size it gave me. I do like photography, but I did the portrait one already. This time I'm going to do fashion. All right, so fashion portfolio. Now, the big obvious thing is that's not my photo either. So I definitely want to not get rid of, but I want to change this photo. Now, when you click on a photo, it may be locked to the background. This one is. So I can't just replace it. Notice the replace icon is even grayed out until I detach it from the background. Then I can change it. Then I can reattach it to the background. Why do you attach things to the background? It's a very important feature in Express because when you resize things, like if I wanted to make this an Instagram story, make it tall, it'll automatically resize your background to the new size. So I'll give an example of that too once we're done. So you definitely want to attach to the background, at least your background to the background. You want to attach your background image to the background so that it can resize better. All right, so now I'm going to simply detach page from background. That's all I have to do is click this button. Click the button. Now it's just a photo. What happened to all the text? The text is all there. It's just white, so that you just can't see it on the white background. Now I can replace this photo. So the replace photo icon or replace icon lit up because it's no longer attached to the background. I can hit replace. I can go find my photo, which this would be something you would normally do right from Lightroom. Express team, I can't wait to get that back. But I'm going to go ahead and, oh, you know what? I don't have my images yet. So let me go get my images. I called them in Lightroom, but I didn't actually export them. All right, so let's say I want that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one, and that one. Oop, not these two. So I want those images. So now I'm in Lightroom. Cloud version, this could be Lightroom Classic, doesn't matter which Lightroom, wherever your images are. Then I'm going to hit export. And then I'm going to go ahead and export these as, I don't need full size, I'm going to do small. All metadata, export 7 photos. And then I'm going to tell it where to put them. I'm going to put them in that TW folder that I went looking into that didn't have them yet. All right, so they should all be there now. That was it. So now when I go back, there they are. And now I can decide what's going to be my cover image. Like they're all here. I kind of like this first one that I saw as my cover image. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and say open. It replaces that one with mine. Now we're going to reattach it to the background. So unattach, replace, reattach. So all we simply do is click on it and just simply say set pages background. That's it. Now I don't like the cropping. Good thing we can change it. So if I click and hold, double click, then I'm sorry, not click and hold, double click, then I can drag it around and recrop it to what I like. So there we go. So now I've recropped this. Now I've got the photo, but now I'm not liking where photography is because it looks like it's right on her nose. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to break the template. Oh my God, he's changing the template. Yep. I'm going to move this first page, and you know what? Now that lines look silly being that long, I'm making changes to the template that weren't there originally. It's okay. No one's going to complain. Make it whatever you want. All right, so now I've got my first page. So Terry White Photography, Fashion Portfolio, next page in the carousel. So there's a next button right here. Remember, this one already has 4 pages in it. I can do the same exact thing, rinse and repeat. So this photo is not mine. Click the photo, detach it from the background, replace it with mine, upload. Can't wait to get the Lightroom stuff back. I'm going to go with this one. Now, depending on the original aspect ratio, see how this is cropped? You might have to uncrop it because this is not a portrait photo that was as skinny as the original. So I'm going to recrop it to what I want. There we go. And then set pages background. And then it comes right back. Now, some other things don't work about this photo. I noticed that the date up here is white on that white background. So I could just simply go in here, highlight it, and change the color. There's nothing stopping you from making it a color that works. Oh, now it's black. Now it works. And by the way, now I can go ahead and put in the actual year. This was taken, I don't remember when, but let's say 2020. All right. Oh, and then just click out of it to get out of it. Great, 2020. Now it gives you this box for sample text. If you wanted to describe this photo, they gave you a text box there to describe the photo. You can put in, oh, this was shot with the Westcott FJ400 in studio. I like this theme because blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It's whatever you want to type in there. Or, I don't want to type anything in. Delete. Gone. I don't have to have that text if I don't want it. It was just there as a convenience from the template. Next page. Same thing, not my photo. I don't want the sample text. I'm going to go ahead and delete it now. Detach from page background, replace with my photo. Now notice this one is landscape. Upload photo. And let's use this one. This one's kind of cool. Let's use that one. And same thing, the crop's wrong. Double click. Fix the crop. Fix the crop. And get out of it. Then set pages background. Great. And now it's wrong because this is square and this image doesn't really look good square unless I move it down. Now you can also go into Photoshop and resize all your images to be square so they look perfect. So the composition is exactly what you want. So let me show you how that process would work. Because let's say I don't like the fact that her leg is cut off. Maybe the shoes are important for the story. I don't know. I'm just giving you examples. So I'm going to go back to Lightroom to that photo. And I'm going to say, open in Photoshop. Edit. Edit in Photoshop. And here it comes. There we go. And now I'm going to set my crop aspect ratio to square. And that's the problem, is that we get this. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up and pull down to give me a square version of this photo. And I can also recompose it. So I can say, well, move her more to this side. Because I noticed that the number 2 on that template was cutting off this foot. So now that I'm using the template in my head, I can go ahead and say, yes, use Generative Expand or Content Aware Fill would probably work fine on this too. And give me a new version of this photo that is square and will work perfectly as a square. All right, there it is. Great. Now we got our square. Now we can export this right out of Photoshop. Quick export as JPEG. We're going to put it in the same folder. And we're going to, the name should be different already. Save. And we head back to here. All right, so now we just proved that we can have a better photo. So let's detach this one again. Let's replace it with the new one we just made. There it is. And now we know that this is a perfect square. There we go. And we get our perfect square crop. If I grab the handles and not the other handles. Okay, great. So now when I attach this to the background, we don't lose anything. We see the top of her hat. We see the bottom of her shoes. We don't lose anything because we made the image a square. And if I needed to see her smaller in the frame, I could have just expanded my crop out in Photoshop more, just like this. So let's go back to Photoshop. Let's say we want some more headroom and we want some more foot room. So just make the image bigger. Use that Generative Expand feature, to make this bigger, to give me more background, in other words, to make her smaller in the frame. Change the hat. I love that. Okay, we don't want that hat. We want the original hat. That's funny. Gave her a witch hat. That's hilarious. All right, so let's go to export. Quick export as JPEG. And let's make this one number 2. So save. All right, so now she's going to be fitting better in the frame when we go back to Express. So again, detach. It's already a square. Replace. Upload. Number 2. Oh, wrong one. Hang on. Replace one more time. I grabbed the wrong one. Upload. Number 2. That one. There we go. So to see how she got more headroom and more foot room. And so now when we attach this, there we go. So now she fits perfectly. She's almost standing directly on the line. We see all of her. We see her hat. We see her shoes. We see everything. Because you are a Photoshop or Lightroom user, you can do more. If you weren't, you know, then you'd be left with what photos you have. All right. So let's say I took this one in, I don't remember when, but let's say it was 2017. And by the way, you don't have to use these years. If you don't want the years, you're not obligated to use them. You can change them to whatever you want or just delete them. All right, so now we're going to do 1 or 2 more here. Let's do this one. Again, we're not going to type in text. We already went through the exercise. If this doesn't fit perfectly, you know how to do it. Let's go ahead and upload a 3rd one. I'm just doing this quickly so I can also show you how you would, we did that one, we didn't do that one. How you would also change or add a page. So I'm going to get through this last couple real quick. And if you need to add a page, show you how to do that. All right, so now we got this one. Let's go ahead and set pages background. And again, double click. Bring her down in the frame more. That's kind of what I really want to see there. And again, you can see the year, but if you want to change the color of the year, you know how. So this was 2021, for example. Select the text, change the color to black instead of whatever, or whatever color you want. And now we have that one. Okay, great. Next page. Oh, that's it. So we're out of pages. Now I want to do a page 4. I don't have a page 4. We're like the template only had 4 pages and we already went through them. Remember? Because page 1 was this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a 5th page. So what I can do is I can either add a page right here. I can add a page the same size, custom size. So if I wanted something different for whatever reason, or more importantly, duplicate. That's what I want. I want this same style. I don't want to have to make the lines and the text over again. Just duplicate this page. So now this is page 5. So we're going to, first of all, before we forget, change this one to a 4, because now this is the 4th image. And now we can go get our new image. So detach from background, grab our new image, upload, and we'll use this one. Great. All right, same thing, set pages background. Great. Double click, pull up to get more of the dress. It's already got the right time, or I'm sorry, right number. This was 2022, and that looks so distracting. So how can I make that year less distracting without breaking the concept of the template being the year in the upper left corner? Well, for this particular one, because that's never going to look right because the black is interfering with the railing, the white would be interfering with the background. It's just never going to look good the way it is. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take that one text box, which is selected, and then I'm going to come down here and click on shape, because shape will give me the ability to put that in a shape. So I can put that, for example, in a rectangle. And then now once I go back, I can actually, oh, hang on, actually I don't want to go back. I want to change the shape fill to white. And now that stands out. So now we can see that year over the top of the photo. So that way you're not losing, it's not blending in, you're not losing your text because the photo would interfere with it. Just change it to have a shape A shape just simply means put a background behind the text. And the shape could be whatever shape you want. It could be a circle, it could be a diamond, it could be a ribbon, it could be whatever. It's just going to make a shape behind the text. Okay, so now we've got this, and I showed you how to duplicate. You would just keep going until you got up to 10. I'm not going to go all the way to 10. And I'm going to now show you two things. If you were done and ready to post this on Instagram, then you would hit download. And you would say, not the selected page, you would say all pages. And it's going to give you the choice between PNG, JPEG, or PDF. It says PNG is best for images. JPEG is best for small file sizes. Since Instagram's not limiting the file size, I would probably use PNG in this case. Now, this is the only thing I don't like about this. I'm going to hit download. And it'll download in a few seconds here. There it is, done. And it puts it in my downloads folder. I saw it flash. And it puts it in my downloads folder as a untitled, because I didn't title this new document. But it'll name it whatever you called your Express document. But it makes it a zip file. And I hate that. I just wish it would download all 5 separate images. Because it's just one more step you have to do. So I'm going to go ahead, open up the downloads, unzip it, and now and by the way, I can get rid of the zip file, and now those are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images. Okay, so then I would take these 5 images and upload them to a post on Instagram, and that will make them into a carousel. All right, before we go any further, 2 things. Let's go back to the first page. Everything I just did, let me make sure. First of all, let me rename this before I forget. IG Carousel Photography Masterclass 2, because remember we already had that first one. Okay, so now it's been renamed. Remember when I started this out and I searched for photography? I may not be searching for the right one now. Photography, let's do carousel. See if it finds it this way. Yeah, it will eventually. There it is. Okay. Some of these templates have a little crown on them, like that one. But the one we used does not. So I just want to point out, everything we just did, you could do for free. If it has a crown, that means it's a premium template or a premium font or a premium whatever. So you can see right off the bat that you're getting more features and content by being a paid Creative Cloud member, because you have access to all the ones with the crown on them. A free member would not have access to those. So I just wanted to point that out. Number 2, as a premium member, when you go to your stuff, there's a category called brands and libraries. And this means you can create your own custom brand as a paid member of Creative Cloud, as a Lightroom, Photoshop, or whatever, full Creative Cloud member, whatever membership you're paying for, you have access to create a brand. So when I go to brands and libraries, and I get out of this particular brand, I'll see the brands that I already have. So I see one for Terry White Photography, TWP. I see a TW brand, which is just me, Terry White. And then I see all the other brands I've created for different things. You can click, you won't have any if you haven't made one yet. So you can click the plus sign, and the plus sign will let you either create a new library. This is the same Creative Cloud library that shows up in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, so forth and so on, or create a new brand. When I create a new brand, I can give it a name. I'm going to call it Photography Masterclass. Yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to type it out, because I knew that would, I have a shortcut set up that gives it my URL, Masterclass. All right, P Masterclass is going to be the brand. And then as soon as I create it, I get to upload and choose all the things that are part of that brand. So if you have your own photographer logo, you can upload that logo. You have colors you like that are part of your brand that your designer or whoever made your logo spec'd out for you. You have specific fonts you like to use. So if they're Adobe fonts, you just choose them, or you can now in the new Express upload your own fonts that you bought somewhere else. If you have graphics that you always use, you can upload those as part of your brand. And now you can even say, I like this template so much, I'm going to use it over and over again. You can add that template to your brand. So that, remember when I said I had to create this as a new document? Because I had already added it to my brand. So that was popping up as oh, you want to use the one you already, use. Couldn't you just share right there from Express? Yes and no. So Angel's asking the question. Yes, you can share right from Express. There's a share button right here, as a matter of fact. And yes, it'll let you go to Instagram from here. I just don't know if it'll let you go to Instagram with the multiple. I haven't tried that. I haven't tried trying to do it a carousel. So yeah, she's asking, do I have to download it and share and go upload it manually? Maybe, because I haven't tried doing this as a carousel. Here, I can try it. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's only going to let me pick one page at a time. So that's what I was afraid of. So yes, you can share directly from here to your Instagram that you've logged into an Adobe Express, but you won't get all the Instagram features like multiple images per post. So yes and no. Okay. But anyway, you can create your template. So I already have a brand. Let's get back out of this one. And let's go to my TWP brand. And my TWP brand has my logo. So if I just click my logo, which is uploaded as a transparent ping file, I can then go ahead and drop it in here and put it wherever I want. I would probably put it over here. And I could even make it less obvious and just lower the opacity of it just a little bit. So it kind of blends in the background like a watermark. All right, so I just wanted to point those two things out. Okay. Third thing I wanted to point out, and the reason I said the reason why you want to lock, or not lock, but attach the picture to the background is because now if you change your mind, so let's go back out. Let's go back out of this whole project because we already have this carousel built. It's down here. It's all your recent files are down here at the very bottom, and I'm probably blocking it. So let me get out of the way. Here it is. It's right here at the bottom. And if I now click the little thingy here on the little three-dot menu, I want to duplicate it. In other words, I don't want to mess with the carousel I just built. Carousel I built was fine. But I now want to duplicate this so I can make changes to it. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this whole project. And I'm going to call this, instead of IG Carousel, I'm going to call it Fashion TWP for Terry White Photography Story. Because maybe I want to make an Instagram story out of it. So I'm giving it a different name. Okay, so now that duplicated the project. So there are two identical projects down here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the one I just made, the duplicate, which now has the right name up here in the upper left corner. So I know I'm working on the right one. And then I'm going to do something that I love. This is one of my favorite Express features. I'm going to hit Resize. And when I hit Resize, I want to resize this for Instagram Story. And when I resize it, I can either duplicate and resize or just resize this page. Now, an Instagram Story is like a vertical video. It's 1080 by 1920. So it's like a video that's been turned vertical. I don't have to know that because it knows what size an Instagram story is. So when I hit Resize, it automatically keeps the photo in place and makes it fill the background. Now, you still have some things you need to move around. For example, I might bring my name up now to line up with that. I might bring my watermark back down because now I have more room for it. I might take photography and make it bigger. So you can do all the things that make it fit better on this vertical platform. But you have the ability to easily convert something to a different size. Now, you also, of course, that only did it for that one page. Let's say I want to keep both. I want this square one, I want a vertical one, and I want a wide one for my YouTube thumbnail. Let's just say, since we're standing out on social. Maybe this is going to be the cover of a video. So resize, there we go. And I want two. I want an Instagram story and I want a YouTube video. You can check off as many of these as you want, and there are hundreds of them. All the sizes for anything you would ever need on social media are here. So Etsy banners, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever platforms you want. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck those. Okay, Instagram story and YouTube video. And now notice my choice is not resize, it's duplicate and resize because I chose more than one thing. That's cool. That's what I wanted anyway. So now it's made this was, I resized, so that one's no longer square, but now I still have the square one. I have the one for the Instagram story, which is going to need some work because the text is hard to see now. So I would probably make that text, give that text a background like I did before, a shape. And everything else is cool. I might want to go ahead and just move this over a bit so I can still reposition within that. And now I have the one for the video as well. So same thing, I might want to go ahead and pull that down. Now I have more room. Get out of that. Now I have more room for the text. The text can be way over here. And now this line can be longer and extend out to here. And it also doesn't have to be all the way here. I can make this over here. I can bring it over. In other words, I can rework this for the new size. And as good as the computer is, it doesn't know exactly what you're going to want for that new size. So you can go ahead and make a lot of those changes yourself to get it exactly the way you want. So now I have my YouTube thumbnail. I have my Instagram story, which I still need some work. I still need to move that line around. Like that line could go higher. It doesn't need to be across her head. I'd bring it up here. And also the Instagram stories have a margin that the top and bottom of the content can be cut off depending on how high it is. So I wouldn't want to take it all the way to the top and nothing important all the way at the bottom. And that way I'm safe that people will still be able to read this as a story. So any one of these pages can be downloaded separately, or you can download all the pages as one zip file and then unzip them and do whatever you want. You have to duplicate each page of the story. Yes, in this case, you would. Hang on, let me try one thing. I think you would. That's a good question. View all pages. Can I select more than one page at a time? I can. Let me try something. Do I get resize from here? Duplicate, select all, add. Yeah, resize is not in this view. If resize were in this view, you could do them all at once. So that's a feature request to the Express team. You're right. You shouldn't have to do them one by one. I should be able to select all the pages, hit resize, make all the sizes I need, then go in and tweak them. So I will bring that up to the Express team that resize should be a button in this view. All right. Then double click to get back to any one page you want. Okay, dang, we're almost out of time already. Okay, let's keep going. You can create almost anything in Express for marketing campaign. How do we do newsletters? So newsletter templates is elusive. It's one of those things that everyone wants to be able to do, but it requires a little bit more to it because it's HTML. It's a little bit more work. Not to say that Express can't do it one day, it just doesn't do it today. I'm sure it's on the roadmap. I'm sure it's one of those things that they're thinking of because it is a popular request. All right, next up, let's do something different. So now I'm going to talk about video in our last few minutes because I think it's important. So I have a video here that's a behind the scenes video of just me shooting in my home studio here. Matter of fact, it was that dress you saw on the stairs. And I'm going to go ahead and just upload that video. So because I uploaded the video just by itself, it says, hey, do you want to create a new project? Yeah, I want to create a new project. What size do you want that project to be? I want it to be an Instagram reel. And boom, it makes my video into Instagram reel size. And now I can scrub through the video, I can play the video, but more importantly, I can start adding things to the video. So for example, you want to brand it. Remember, you have your stuff, you have your brand, brands and libraries. I can drop my brand in and put my brand where I want it to be, nice and big. Make the logo bigger. Not nice, not that big. All right. Let's put it there, and that will just play across the whole video. It will just stay in that one spot. You can animate it and have it do other things, but that's it. Now let's say I want to add some text. Because we haven't talked about text. We edited text that was already in the template, but you can add text to anything. So you upload a new photo and there's add text to it. So I want to add text, and I want to say behind the scenes. But that's obviously going to be hard to read because depending on what it's on top of, you won't be able to see it in black. So what did I teach you? Go add a shape. Because now once you add a shape, you can make that shape color any color you want, including your brand colors. Ooh, because I have colors in my brand. I'll make it a brand color, and then I'll come back to the actual text itself, and I'll change the text color to be something easier to read on top of my brand. All right, so now that's going to be here, and that will all be there the whole time. But let's say I don't want it to be there the whole time. Because so far, anything I've added, you've noticed, has been static. The video plays underneath it, but the things I've added just stay in one spot. Well, that doesn't have to be the case. Down here at the very bottom, there's a show layer timing, this button down here at the bottom, this little toggle. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. So now when that's on, anything that's selected, so if I select my logo, I see the timing for my logo. If I select my text, I see the timing for the text. Anything can be changed. So when I select the behind the scenes, I can say, well, that doesn't need to start at the very beginning of the video. Maybe that starts a few seconds in. So now when the video plays, all you see is the logo until however far I drug it in. I didn't time it. But when I drug that in, now the behind the scenes just appears. Well, I don't want the behind the scenes to just appear. And I want it to happen a little sooner. So let me pull it back a little bit. I want to animate it. So everything could be animated here in Express. So I'm going to click, I want it to, I'll let it bungee in. All right, so it bungees in. And we'll bungee it in from the bottom. There we go. And then I also want to animate it out. At the end, I want it to animate out and do a kind of a tumble. Just tumble out of the frame. And I don't want it to stay there the whole time, so I can pull it in from this way. So now this is the way this would look. I don't need to go all the way back to the beginning. Let's play. But it bungees in, stays there for as long as I told it to stay there by pulling it in, pulling it out. And then when it gets to the very end, it should spin or tumble out, whatever that's called. There we go, tumbles out. All right, same thing with the logo. Click the logo's there the whole time. That's fine, but I want to animate it in. Nope, not adjustments, animation. Animate in, I just want it to not grow, not rise, not shrink, not spin, fade. There we go. Fade's a very subtle professional one, and I want it to fade over, 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, great. And then same thing for out. I want it to fade out over 2 or 3 seconds. Right. So now, again, it doesn't start off with that. It just goes ahead and hits play. Logo fades in. Behind the scenes pops in. Is it possible to track something? Maybe the logo. And if you mean by tracking it, having like attaching it to the model as she moves, it moves with her. Yes, you could do that in After Effects, or even Premiere to some degree, but not here in Express. It's not that level of editing. All right, but nice try. I'm kidding. Who knows? We may get there someday. Add scene is just simply adding on to this video. So if you wanted to add another video, more text, a whole nother design, whatever, you can click Add Scene and then add in whatever you want. So if you want something completely different, I want a template for photography, and I want to add that into this video, and I'm just going to go ahead and just grab a sample here, like this one. Add as page. Great. So now that's here. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That became a whole thing. Hold on. Wow. Yeah, that's already a video. That's why. Let's go back. Yeah, I don't want to add it as a page. I just want to add it here. So here, let me do it this way. Let's see if I can drag and drop onto here. I cannot. I don't want to start a new project. I want to add, hang on, it's probably because I'm doing it as a video. Photography, let's not do a video. Let's do, that's why I'm on Instagram Reel. Let's just click on this one. Oh, no, I don't want to do any of that. I want to add that to this. I don't want to add it as a whole separate thing. Get out of this, go back to the template. It's trying to give me a whole separate thingy, and I don't want that. I guess I'm going to have to add it as a page. Okay. Add as a page. It's another page. Let's get rid of this one. It should play. Let's see what happens when it gets to the end. No, it's going to stop. Okay, I got to figure out how to add another scene, but I'm out of time. So, yes, you can add another scene easily. I was just trying to get that from the template onto this page, but may not be as easy as I thought. That's it. Go play. When you're done with your video, you can download it as a video and then upload it to social with all the things you've done to it. And you can add scenes. I'm just not doing it the right way to add a template. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm out of time. I'll go figure that out. And start the next masterclass with that one thing I didn't get right. Have fun, everybody. Bye.